Hi there. Hi there. I'm Taylor. I'm with West Physiotherapy, and y'all have some hip pain. Um, I'm sorry to hear that. That stinks. A lot of you shared with me where you have hip pains. For some people, it's in the front. For a lot of people, it's on the side. This is really classic. Oftentimes, get diagnosed with trochanteric bursitis, etc. So, I think my battery is low. And some people more posterior hip pain. Okay, so I want to go over quickly something simple. Most athletes have heard about the IT band. Maybe you're already rolling your IT band. So I want to show you some tips for maybe improving that and helping you understand what's going on with that outside of the hip. And then we'll move on. I'll show you some other foam rolling techniques in the future. So a note about foam rolling, it tends to be rather unpleasant. I wanted to play some music to make it a little more fun, but my speaker battery is dead. I don't know if that happens to anyone. You go to do something, the speaker's dead, your phone is dead, your exercise tracker, battery dead. So I need like an assistant to just keep all my devices charged. Wonder if I can afford that. Okay, this is the foam roll I'm using. I've talked about this in other videos. It's white foam. These are easy to find a lot of places. The black is much more dense. I think it would be really, if you don't like yourself, get the black one and do this with the black one. If you do like yourself, try maybe this white one or even something softer. If you're actually having side of the hip pain, get something softer, or you just may not be able to tolerate this foam rolling technique right now, and that's okay. I'm going to do this on my left side because I went for a long hike and I was feeling some stuff kind of in my left butt, and also my left knee did not feel great, kind of tight, like it was going to start swelling a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about what the IT band is. It's a super thick fibrous band running down the side of your leg here. It crosses the knee, and then it comes up and attaches to a tiny little slip of muscle called the TFL, tensor fasciae lata. Okay? This is a fibrous band. You're not going to stretch it. It's laying on top of your lateral quad. We usually think about the quad as the front of the thigh, and it is, but vastus lateralis is over here, and it actually wraps around almost to about here. Feels like it's on the back with the hamstrings. And I've actually found that for a lot of people who have tightness over here, if we dry needle this vastus lateralis, then that helps free that up a lot. So I want to talk about what's above this IT band, from this bony fan to your greater trochanter, or this outside hip bone. We have these outside of the hip muscles. These do a lot of the stabilizing of the hip. This is often where some of the pain, if you think of like bursitis pain, sometimes it's actually the muscular insertion here. So if you have pain there, this may be too uncomfortable. But this is an area that needs can benefit for some people from rolling on. So I want to just show you, and also this front bit, this TFL, is more kind of on this front aspect of the hip, that bony part, and then you dip down. That's all in there. So I want to show you how to get some of that with the foam roll. So you're going to start at this bony part of the pelvis, okay? If I'm above that, I'm sinking into my waist, so that's not where I want to be. I'm on this bony part of the pelvis, and you can kind of roll along the bony edges. There are a lot of what are called Golgi tendon organs, which help sense muscular position in space, and so freeing the edges of that fascia on the bony contours is actually really helpful. Okay, and then I'm going to come down into this, so there's kind of that bony hip on the outside, so I'm going to sink in above that and up to that crest. So that's more glute med, glute min. This can be where you get some hip tendonitis almost, and I want to show you that you can kind of roll side to side along that fan of a muscle, or up and down. So this is like with the fibers of the muscle, this is against the fibers, or if I found a tight spot, I could stay in that place and just sort of rotate my leg on the foam roll. And that's also an option, okay? Now, coming down past that bony prominence, actually, let's go up just a little bit. You're still above that hip bone, and then if you roll forward a little bit, you're gonna be getting on that muscle I talked about, TFL, tensor fasciae lata. This is the tiny little slip of a muscle. In runners, a lot of times it gets really developed, like it's like a little chunk of meat there. So freeing up this front edge, it just gets really mucked up, and this can kind of hold your pelvis in a forward position. I'm gonna try to wrap this up so I don't lose my battery. Okay. So TFL. Now we're gonna go past that bony contour. You could spend a little time there, but I don't recommend just staying on that for a long time. You may flare that bursa up. And then we're gonna come down the side of the leg a bit further. And here, this is usually where people feel, if you don't sing opera, you might start singing it now. It's just, it doesn't really like this, okay? So if I kind of roll to the back edge, that feels okay. It's pretty smooth. If I come down the side, ooh, it's almost like I just run over some moguls. So that's where I'm gonna spend a little more time, adjust my pressure so I can tolerate it. And for me, if I kind of roll my leg this way a little bit, this front edge of IT band and quad is where I have a lot of tightness. So that's where I would spend a little more time. Now, the IT band does cross your knee. If you have any kind of knee instability, I would not roll across the joint, especially if you have like lateral instability here, ACL problems, anything like that. I do not, and I feel like this is really tight on me from my, it's not tight, it's just compressed. There's not enough space in this between these two joint surfaces. So for me, I would spend a little time crossing the joint, but this may not be appropriate for everyone. Okay, so that's the bottom kind of part of the IT band. All right, so I hope that gives you some ideas of how to use the IT band a little more completely for that outside of the leg. Next video, I'm going to talk about the inside of the leg. This is a piece that I think gets missed a lot, and maybe the culprit, when you feel pain on the outside of the leg, it may actually be more adductor tightness, so we'll go over that next time. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, leave them for me or message me, and thanks for watching. Bye.